Well, good morning and welcome back to CityLine. So October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. One of our guests and I were just talking about that. And so it's very appropriate that we have the Crystal Judson Family Justice Center here on the show. They are one of my favorite centers. And yes, I wish in another world we didn't have to have centers like this. But if we do, this is the Nordstrom of domestic violence justice centers. So please join me in welcoming back Nadia Van Adder. You are the Victim Service Supervisor for the Crystal Judson Family Justice Center. Welcome back, my dear.
Thank you for having me again.
My pleasure. And you're wearing some killer shoes.
Thank you.
I don't know, I didn't mention this to them. I don't know how quickly they can get these shoes on here, but there they are. Okay, there we go. Okay, Fluvogs. These things rock. There we go.
You've got a good pair on your
Well, you know, like attracts like. And so does this handsome man next to you. John Hugh, welcome to CityLine. You are with Our Sister's House, and you are a community advocate. Welcome. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Nice tie there, Mister. Kind of peeking out. So let's talk about the Crystal Judson Family Justice Center. Nadia, give us an overview for perhaps somebody who is maybe too young to remember when all this came about or is new to the area.
Okay. So the Family Justice Center, first of all, the idea behind the model is to have a variety of services that are co-located to make it easier for folks to access.
That's why it's the Nordstroms.
Thank you. We know that domestic violence is about power and control, so there's so many different tactics that abusers use. So we want to have a variety of community partners working together to make it easier to connect to services.
Yes. And talk a little bit more about why that's important. I want you to go back to the days of when the services were not underneath one house and what a victim would have to go through.
So years ago, you would run over to the clerk's office to file a protection order, and then maybe you have to go to law enforcement to arrange service. And then you have to go to DSHS, and then you're looping in with an advocate and kind of hopping all around town.
Right.
That's hard to do just in general, let alone think about when you're in crisis and you've got safety concerns and maybe you've got some kids in tow.
Right. And maybe you're on public transportation. Maybe you've got a time frame where your abuser is not home or you are not on the radar. It's impossible to get help like that.
Yeah. So the idea of community partnerships is, we have such a robust network of partners within Pierce County. And the easier we can make it for survivors to access them, the better support and long-term success they're going to have that's sustainable. So those partnerships are so important. On site, we have Korean Women's Association.
I love them.
Our Sister's House, which is where John is from.
Love them.
We have Associated Ministries, Good Sam Behavioral Health. We have DSHS, we've got the Sheriff's Department, and Pierce County Court.
Wow.
And the idea is that someone can come in and access a variety of things. But we also have off-site community partners, which include Rebuilding Hope, Catherine Place, Hope Sparks, Kindred Souls Foundation, Tacoma Pro Bono, and others. So even if we don't have it on site, we can try to connect them in. So ultimately, a victim or survivor comes in to access services either from us or from one of those other agencies, and they're able to tap into an entire network of services, again, leading to long-term sustainable success.
Absolutely. John, let's talk about the clients you serve and the services you offer.
Yeah, so like Nadia was saying, we are one of the partners at the Family Justice Center. At Our Sister's House, we actually have a program called Sister Seeking Change, which is for African American survivors of domestic violence. In this program, we have a support group that is, the curriculum pertains right to African Americans. So with the resources, the transportation, the employment, everything is directed towards African American culture.
That is incredible. And well done and high time, because every culture has their norms about domestic violence, of what is allowed and what's not allowed. And the sooner we can understand those cultures, the sooner we can help them get out of that situation. Whether it's a generational thing, whether it is something that you just put up with, whether it's a language barrier, or whether it's a form of discipline that has gotten out of control pole, and somebody has stepped in to protect a child and gotten hit. There's so many cultures that have different ways of explaining or justifying the violence. My culture has that. We're a culture of silent. We don't talk about that. So I love that you have tapped into that. What are some of the greatest challenges, John, that your clients face, speaking of that?
The greatest challenges would be the resources. We all know that resources aren't for everyone. Everybody qualifies to different resources, and resources are limited. And especially when, the abuser is holding those resources to you, you come into this thing called a financial burden, which is one of the biggest things that we figure out that our clients run into. And that's, being connected to employment, being connected to housing, being connected to all those things because of the money that they don't have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they walk into your doors or into the Justice Center, and they're understood, and you understand that they're walking in with maybe just a couple bucks in their pocket, and that's it.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So how many clients, Nadia, do we serve in a year?
So we had over 6,000 visits last year. 2,000 visits, over 6,800 helpline calls, and then over 2,500 follow-up calls and follow-up touches with clients. But then we're also providing court support and helping people file protection orders. We provided court support for over 500 folks with protection orders last year. And then we're out in the community doing presentations or doing outreach for victims and survivors.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Incredible. And John, can people bring their children to the center?
Yes, we are very, very big when it comes to children. A lot of times our clients think about the safety of their children.
Absolutely.
But the services, they don't really think about. The services are more for the parent a lot, and they don't really think about the services that their children might need. So actually at our sister's house, we offer 2 support groups. One is for kids 6 through 11 that have witnessed domestic violence. And this is kind of to help them say, like, what you saw was not right. The other support group is called New Directions, and this is for the teen side from 12 to 18 that have also witnessed the violence and also are starting to be those perpetrators.
Yes.
We're starting to catch them now.
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. So what kind of advice can you offer to someone who is dealing with an abusive spouse or partner? John, I want you to go first on this.
Well, what I would offer them is that, first off, know that there's help available, knowing that there's advocates out there that will help you, and going out there and getting that help. Because we all know that the abuser is going to do what they can to get that person from coming and getting that help. So knowing that there's help and that we're going to do that, we're going to be there to help them do whatever they want to do to better their situation in the safest way possible.
There we go. What would you add to that, Nadia?
Let them know it is not their fault.
There we go.
That abusive behavior is not okay, and to really, reinforce that.
Absolutely.
This isn't your fault. You don't deserve it.
Yes. If I were someone that walked into the Justice Center, would I be able to bring a friend or a family along with me, member?
Yes, we have a family and friends program that's specifically geared towards the support networks that talk about 10 low barrier ways to support a loved one who's experiencing that. And we have those materials on our website.
I love that. And that kind of ties into my next question of, John, what do you think people should do if they think that somebody that they care about is becoming a victim of domestic violence?
Believe them. Believe
I
them.
love that. There we go.
And
Believe
listen to them and listen to them, because 9 out of 10 times that abuser's at home telling them no one will believe you. No matter who you tell what's going on, no one will believe you. So believing them, that will help the whole thing just go way more smoother. Just believing them.
Powerful, powerful message. What would you add to that, Nadia?
Back to John's point of there are resources available. You don't have to be the expert as a family member or friend, but learn about domestic violence, learn about those resources, and help your loved one connect to them. We're the experts. That's what we're here for.
So just be a conduit, be a vessel, believe them, a listening ear. And I would add to that, as somebody who's had that situation in my family, be patient.
Yes.
Because it's really hard to take that first step to walk in and say, I need help.
Leaving is a process.
Yes.
It's scary.
It is.
And it's oftentimes the most dangerous time. So patience is a huge thing.
Absolutely. Are there ways to get involved in supporting the work of the center, John?
Yes, there's many ways. first off, just going on Facebook and, Instagram and seeing what's going on when that comes to, events, fundraisers, ways to donate.
Yes.
Getting involved by asking us to come present to you so, we can do prevention at whatever organization you're at.
That's right, any workplace you're at. What would you add to that, Nadia?
I'd say there's volunteer opportunities, there is intern opportunities, and again, the donation piece, agencies like ours, we need support from the community, so whether it's monetary donations to provide, so we can provide emergency stopgap services, or whether it's items that we need.
Yes, and your website always lists a really great outline of items that you need for anybody who walks through those doors. Who do we need to thank, John?
All the community partners, all the organizations that have helped. Nadia could probably give some exact names.
Yeah, community partners are huge.
Yes.
We get some wonderful support from community members and organizations. So thank you to them. And interns and volunteers. We really rely on them, and they do such a wonderful job.
And you couldn't do it without them.
No.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to the both of you and to the many people who stand behind you and are on this team that we could not fit in the studio. I say this, and I truly mean this. This is a ministry. This is not a 9-to-5er. Mm-hmm. Both of you, I know, have sleepless nights. I know you think about these people who you're trying to help. I know you take your work home with you. I know that you see clients out in neighborhoods and you think, I wonder how they're doing if they didn't come back. And I'm so grateful for both of you to step in and to put the cape on and be a part of the solution. This is not easy, and there is no amount of money that you could ever be paid that could compensate you for all the goodness that you and your teammates do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
So much for putting yourselves on the line. And I'll see you back here real soon, all right?
Hope so.
All right. I look forward to the day when I don't have to see you, but I will see you.
There you go.
Again. When we come back, Tacoma Opera will be in these seats talking about their latest production. We'll be right back after this quick break.